All right. So, how many did you read?
6.
Good. Okay. Scooch up. First video of the new year.
Yeah.
That ended so bad. All right. Awesome. You want to welcome us into the new year, or?
I feel like I've done so many of them.
Okay. All right. So.
That's the right mic, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked. I was like, not gonna let it happen to me again. All right.
I think you're stupid, and I think it's the best book I've ever read.
I'm gonna hate you if you actually believe that. Welcome back, everyone. We're La Library, and I'm Dantes.
I'm Jacob.
And today we're talking about all the books we read in the last month of 2025, our December wrap. I went ham, like I usually do. But you read a good couple
did
too.
Well, yeah, maybe a tiny bit more than I usually do.
Yeah. I almost bought that book.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a Barnes and Noble that's going on sale here, and
this is the one he's talking about.
You gotta find out. There's a Barnes and Noble that's going out of sale
in Pembroke Grove or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
keep seeing videos about it. There's like lines like around the building.
I was there, so I saw the thing, and I went the next day because luckily it was like I think I wasn't working either Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, and me being an idiot, I didn't get a basket. And I was in line for an hour with books like this, and I was just like, my arms were dead. Awesome. So today we're talking about our December wrap. Got to be going over all the books and comics that we read. Did you read any comics?
No, I don't think I have. It was just a busy. Didn't really have the time.
I read comics.
Nice.
And I felt
Okay.
And one of them was one of the presents you got me.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, so let's start it off. I will start off. I'll maybe do like 4 at a time. So the first one I have here, I'm gonna go in order here so I don't lose my place. First book I read is Betrayal Winner by Daniel Abrams. Second book of the Long Price Quartet. It follows our boys Oda and Mati. They're a little bit older from the first book in the series, which is Shadow and Summer, and it takes place after the events of there. They've grown up. They've gone on to do a little bit more things. They're older. These guys are like maybe young adults here now, or like getting into their 30s, maybe something. While the first book they were quite young. I liked the second book a lot better than the first one. The first one was fine. I liked it enough. I went into this one hoping for more because everyone says that it gets better and better. And the third book is like the best one. This is exactly kind of like what I look for in a fantasy. Good pacing, good characters, good plot. I enjoyed it. The mystery or like the plot that they're trying to unravel was really good. And I enjoyed it a lot. It kind of goes back to Oda's past, and there's a lot of murder happening. So I enjoyed it a lot. I think I gave it a 4.25 stars. I'm going to continue on with this. I'm going to be reading the third book soon. So
cool.
Check it out. Long Price Quartet. The next book I read is this one, To Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. It is the third book of Memories, Sorrow, and Thorn. I love this book. This is such a great way to end this trilogy. Mm-hmm. It did everything I wanted to. There was a little bit of subversion. The characters were great. You see, like, I love how the characters, they grow, but they still feel the same. And Tad Williams did such a great job. Tad Williams does a really good job of inflicting claustrophobia on his readers, because there's a lot of in the first book there's like this trippy ass tunnel scene. In here there's another like claustrophobic scene that he does really well, that it's like very like not psychedelic, but like it feels like that. It feels like you're tripping out.
Interesting.
And it's the last book. This book made me want to go into the rest of the Austin Art series really a lot sooner than I was planning to.
It's like a world.
A world,
right?
yeah. Just like the Malazan universe.
They don't like continue sequentially?
No. I think that the next ones take place. I'm not even sure if I'm pretty sure decades later. Okay. Because it seems like from what is hinted out here that the kids or something are going to be continuing on the story.
All right.
So I enjoyed it. To Green Angel Towers. I give this a 5 stars.
Nice.
I was being very generous with my stars this month for the holidays and everything. The next book I read is a nonfiction book, The Wager by. That's a lot of books falling down.
Pick up.
The next book I read is The Wager by David Gran. It is a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder. It's a nonfiction book. It takes place off the coast of South America. It's following some English crew as you get the different stories from these guys of like a captain that's a piece of shit, the crew turning on them, abandoning them on the shore, and then getting back to England and them saying like what happened, and then all of a sudden the captain shows back up. It was really engaging. I did not quite enjoy this as much as I did another pirate book that I read earlier last year, which is called Born to Be Hanged. That one was really cool. I liked that one a lot more. I still gave this like a 3.75. It was solid nonfiction. It has narrative to it, so you're following all these characters and try to like gives you like, because they do so well in journaling and stuff, you get into their mindset and like why they do certain things. But I just enjoyed the other one more. It was more engaged. It was like it gripped me a little bit more. Okay. This one was fine. It was fine. The next one I read, and all of you hopefully have seen this, is Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews.
Okay. So I don't need to put this on my list then either.
No,
we talked about this a lot in one of our weekly videos, in one of our weekly wrap-up videos.
I'm still bitter about it.
Yeah, we read this I think we finished it very early in the month. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the content of the story, of the narrative, so I gave it a 1. But I'm still like I think I don't think it's egregious. I know you like despise it.
I hate it. Yeah. I hate it with my every fiber of my being. I give it a 0.25 stars, and it just. I agree that the writing is not terrible, but the content of the writing is just. I can't. I don't want to even go into this anymore. But yeah, Flowers in the Attic. I'm not going to continue on this series, this Dolan Ganger series, whatever it's called. Terrible. And the fact that it was marketed as a YA still fucking
that I think that's really weird.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And a lot of the friends that have read this beforehand all say that they read it when they were like in middle school.
Yeah, and it was really big. It was really big. I know. There's
a movie about it.
I was telling my mom that we were doing it for book club, and she was like, "Oh, I read that." And I was like, and like they were huge.
I like people that have read this when they were kids. There should be reparations.
Someone should check up on
There should be reparations for this. Like, you should get paid like some dues because there's damage that you felt. And then the last one for right now is Children of Memory, which I have. Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It is the third book of the Children of Time series. It was the last book up until this past month.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I actually got the arc for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with it, but the last book is Children of Strife, or the most recent book is Children of Strife. This continues on with kind of like the same group of humans and non-humans traveling in space and not colonizing, but like exploring outer reaches of space. This one had a different structure. The first 2 books were more like sequentially. You start off with the non-human species pretty much and farther back in time, and then the human species currently in present time, and they're essentially meeting up at this point. This one does that too, but then it does like flash forwards a little bit and like to keep the mystery going on. I thought the animals in this one were cool. But the structure really threw me off a little bit. I wasn't engaged with it, and by the time I got to this book, I'm like, oh, okay. It felt like it was the same thing over and over again. Even though it was a twist of what we were experiencing, especially the end. I thought the reveal was enjoyable, but I like this one the least out of all of them, and I gave it a 3.25. It's still a fine book. It's still written well. Adrian Tchaikovsky just does really good with his voice and the voices of the characters, but I just didn't engage with it as much as I did with the other 2. There are horror elements in this one too, but I felt it more in Children of Ruin than I did here.
All right.
So that's my first 5. Let me pick this up real quick. We're back. Awesome. Those are my 5. Jacob, what did you read?
Yeah, so you already went over Flowers in the Attic.
Yep.
I read that too. Mm-hmm. I'll go with the one I held up earlier, and that is White Teeth by Zadie Smith.
Ooh.
This is a contemporary lit fic book. I joked, I've been joking around in my review and stuff. I said this is kind of like the quintessential lit fic book almost. I feel like this is what people think of when they think of a lit fic book. It's super character heavy and kind of theme heavy, but very the plot is not really it's not like a plot moving forward. The plot is about this group of characters and how they affect each other. and how the characters change over time. So it follows basically like two families where the fathers are both buddies from the war.
Okay.
And just kind of the decisions that it just kind of follows like these decisions that people make that like affect each other like way down the line.
Yes.
And yeah, it was really interesting. I enjoyed it. It didn't like blow my mind.
I think that's why I ended up not buying it, because like it seemed like you were kind of like in the middle of it. So, and there's other books that I hadn't read or hadn't heard of that I was like,
all right,
cool.
Yeah, should I do another one or
do another one?
Okay. Then these aren't in any particular order, like in how I read them. But then there's Station 11. This was okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shame.
It's like post-apocalyptic. So like this was written, I think like 2014, 2015 or something. And
really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I didn't realize it was so old.
Yeah. And it's about basically this disease breaks out and it kills like 99, I think in the book they say 99.9% of people on the planet.
Okay.
So all these things like shut down, like electricity basically doesn't exist. Obviously, following from that, like internet stuff, nobody can get gas.
Oh.
Or it's very hard to come by.
So you're telling me it's not a sci-fi book?
I mean, it's sort of it sort of is, because it's like post-apocalyptic in that way, but it's not like hard sci-fi or anything.
So like post-apocalyptic dystopian kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, what it follows is it's basically this group of theater performers and musicians that kind of just travel this certain stretch of land in I think it's America.
Okay.
It might be Canada, but I think it's America. I'm pretty sure it's America.
Canadians.
And they just kind of follow back and forth along this path. They just kind of go back and forth, and they perform for people and stuff. And just kind of hijinks kind of ensue from there. Yeah.
Okay, so would you say it's also very like character focused, or like there's more of a plot in this one?
There's a little bit more of a plot in this one than there is in White Teeth.
Okay.
It's still pretty
loose.
It's still pretty it's still pretty loose. But it definitely is like more focused. It is like a little less on the characters. I would say the theme work is still pretty strong in it. It didn't really like wow me either. I thought White Teeth was better than this,
okay.
Just for my taste. But I think if I were to say for you, I think you would like Station 11 more than White Teeth.
Okay. I'm hoping for that, because I had bought that one.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail.
Cool. Yeah,
because it is like very...
This is the most I'll know going into most of my books. Awesome. So then the next one I read, and I think I spoke about this, or I think I spoke about most of these already in some of our raps, but I read Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. It's a small little novella, short story. I'm not even sure what the drop off is. This is less than 100 pages, so maybe it's a short story.
I think it's probably novella.
Okay. So yeah, novella by Stephen Graham Jones. This, I kind of talked about it a little bit. This was a 5-star read for me.
Nice.
It deals with a child kind of coming to terms with the loss of his father and becoming the man of the house as a young teen. So there's a lot of visions. He's indigenous as well and living on the poorer side.
Are all of Stephen Graham Jones?
I think most of them.
Indigenous?
I read Teenage Slasher, and I think his name is Tully, is indigenous, but for sure Buffalo Hunter, there's indigenous people there, and these people were indigenous. But I think he mostly does indigenous folk or protagonists.
Okay.
And yeah, it really connected with me. For such a short story, it really impacted me. I really connected with the themes and the messaging going on here, and kind of the struggle for the child. I've had similar things happen in my life where I've had to just kind of like grow the fuck up a lot sooner than I was anticipating. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And then the ending really kind of like really drove home like this gut punch, and it made me feel sad, and I enjoyed it a lot. I recommend, if you want to get into any Stephen Graham Jones, this is not so much horror. There are some like horror elements, but it's not too bad. And again, it's a short book. Try it out. See if you like his prose with this. And yeah. The next one I read is The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This is a collection, I think, of 4 stories, starting with The Sword in the Stone and then ending with, I forgot what it's called. But the second one is has Arthur there trying to set up his Knights of the Round Table. The third one is Arthur's kind of like downfall with Lancelot and Guinevere. And then the last one was... So, I didn't quite enjoy... I'm going to explain it like this.
No, it was the way you were like, the last one was, and then you just moved on, you just gave up and moved on.
This is how I'm going to explain it. This was not how I was expecting it, because I heard this was such a great Arthurian story, and it is. There's a lot of art, like the classic Arthur tales that you hear from it are here. The first and last one feel more childlike, which is fine. It feels like more fables and tales than it does actual narrative and story, which is fine. Like the first one, again, it felt very much like Disney's Sword in the Stone, which I enjoyed it because you have Archimedes, the owl, you have Arthur turning into different animals, and him then becoming Arthur. He has a different name, but then becoming Arthur because he pulls a sword from the stone. And I enjoyed it, but I felt like T.H. White, there was a lot of anachronism going on, which it was very intentional, his anachronisms in there, because he uses Merlin as kind of like this person that could see out of time a little bit.
Ah, okay.
And then there's a lot of critiques or deep dives into government systems and how humans should, which humans should be adopted, everything. It's not what I'm looking for in Arthur's tale. And I didn't enjoy that aspect as much. And because maybe I go into most books blind, I didn't see it coming, and it really took down my enjoyment of the book. It's written fine, but because of that and other things, I didn't quite enjoy it as much. Again, because everything else was kind of like still pretty good, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. And even with me adjusting, the first story is more of children's tale. The third story is my favorite one. The Lancelot and Guinevere one is my favorite one out of all these.
Okay.
But I still give it a 3.5. Maybe I'll even lower it to a 3. But yeah, just know that going into this, there's a lot of anachronisms. There's a lot of critiques and themes that this guy is kind of exploring and trying to bring forth. And if you're looking for more Arthur's tales, I would say the first and third one are the best ones.
All right.
The next one I don't have here. It is The Land of the Living and the Dead by Shauna Lawless. It is the third book of the Gale Song trilogy. I like this one. I liked it better. So the first two books, Children of Fighting Men and Words of Prophets and Kings, were good, were fine. The first one was fine. The second one was a little bit better, but I was still kind of ambivalent about it. This one I liked a lot more, and actually kind of makes me want to read the next book. So it's not a direct sequel, but it's like a continuation of the story after the fact, like decades or hundreds of years after the fact. And it makes me want to read that. I'm not sure if I will, but this one did a lot better. Everything kind of converged. The Tuatha Dé Danann and the Fomorians meet more head to head, and it was less politicking / daggers in the dark kind of deal. And I enjoyed it a lot more with that. The characters were pretty good. The female characters were really good. I still don't know how I feel about her introducing male POVs. It was mostly, I believe the first two books were only the two main female protagonists. And then this one, she introduces two male POVs that were for the Fomorian side. And I'm not sure how I felt about it. Again, even then, it still raised the rating for me higher than the other two books. I give this one a 4.25 stars. So I enjoyed it a lot. The next one I read was a quick read, and this is because Tudor Ramble read it, Preacher Reads read it, and a couple other people. It's Pilgrims by M.R. Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
This is aliens are coming to Earth, and they end up being Catholic. And I'm Catholic, and I'm like, whatever. I still believe in all this stuff. I don't practice so much. But this... You
were raised Catholic.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. I don't practice. Every so often I will go to church, and just because I need it, I feel like I need a wash. But I still believe in everything. But this book, oddly, made me feel very sentimental and very, I guess religious. It did a really good job with that. Just because one of the characters, the faith that he had is oh, I remember this feeling. I remember feeling these things. I remember kind of grew up. I went to Catholic schools and everything. I remember all these things, and it really touched me there. I was kind of surprised at how much I enjoyed this book, and because of the emotions I felt. And it's not a perfect book in my sense, but because of the emotional aspect and kind of the themes that they were tackling after that, it raised it to a 4.25 for me. And again, if you have any interest in that, again, Catholic aliens coming to church, coming to Earth, and I liked it. Pilgrims by M.R. Leonard.
Cool.
The last one, then, really quick, before I pass it back to you, is... Oh, I have it over there.
Do you want me to go grab it?
Yeah, please.
What is it?
And the last book I have here for now is The Black Company. This is Silver Spike. This is story 3.25, or 3.5, rather. It is not one of the main stories of The Black Company, and automatically you understand why, because Black Company usually follows Croker and the group of mercenaries that are not... They're changing politics around and like the leadership and everything, or they're just part of the group that's kind of hired for that. And this one focuses... I wasn't sure at what point in the story, if we were before the third story or after the third story. It's after the third story. But yeah, you follow another character that's been in the first 3 books, and there's some things going on, and I enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me why I like this world so much. I'm going to be going into Shadow Games, which is the 4th book, really soon. And I'm enjoying my time with the Black Company. I took a break from the first 3 books to get here, and I want to go and kind of just like blow through these. Cool. This is kind of on the same... This is the same guy that influenced Joe Abercrombie, George R.R. Martin, Steven Erikson, all these people. Grimdark, kind of like... It seems like it was born out of this series. And I enjoyed it. It's very dark, and it doesn't really hold any punches, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
That's my next 5. Now...
Okay, so I also read, I don't have it with me, The Just City by Joe Walton. I've talked about this a couple times in other videos, but this was a pretty good book for me. It's based... The premise is the Greek gods kind of exist like outside of time, basically. And so what happens is Athena kind of plucks a bunch of people out of the timeline, puts them all on this like one island, and basically goes like, you guys are gonna make Plato's Republic.
Yeah.
So I'm not super well versed in Plato's philosophy and stuff.
Neither am I.
But my understanding is the Republic is kind of like a thought experiment for like not how to make the perfect society, but how to make like the most just, most fair society that you can make. And so the adults that she kind of plucks out of the timeline, they are the guardians. They're kind of setting it up. And basically they get a bunch of children to this island, and they are basically teaching them and
because they're slaves, no?
And getting yes, they buy them as slaves, but then they're like freed. It's like a plot point in the book that they were bought as slaves. It's like important in the book. Like some of the kids are very like upset about it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Where was I? Sorry. They're teaching the kids, getting them like set up to run the Republic.
Okay.
But the kids are not allowed to read it until much later, because there's a lot of like weird stuff in the Republic. Again, I haven't even read it. I want to after reading this, but I haven't even read it. But there's like things in it that are like they're controlling like the breeding of the kids stuff. Like they specifically put certain ones it's eugenics. They put certain ones together to get certain genetic combinations and stuff. That
sucks. Actually, I'm going to be reading... I have the 5 dialogues of Plato. I'm not sure if you want to try that.
Yeah, I got a whole... because I read this book, it made me super interested, and I got a whole complete works.
By the way, new shelves. Hello.
So I do want to read it eventually.
Okay.
Again, this is another book that I really can't say too much because otherwise things start happening. But basically, there's 3 main POVs. One of them is this woman from like Victorian England. Who she's one of the people that got plucked out. She's one of the guardians.
Could you need a British person?
One of them is one of the children who was bought as a slave and are being there. And then one of them is actually Apollo. Is a POV because the beginning of the book, Apollo, the story of Apollo and Daphne. Apollo's like trying to get with Daphne, and Daphne prays to Artemis to be turned into a tree instead. And Apollo's like, I don't understand why she would rather be a tree than be with me.
Of course.
And so he goes to Athena and he's like, hey, I heard you're setting this thing up. I want you to make me immortal and put me in there. So he doesn't have any of his god powers or stuff. He's just there. He's one of the kids, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is he like friends with the other stable?
Yeah, he becomes friends with the other main character.
Okay.
I can't remember her name. They all have.
Did you say like Maya, Gaia, something like that?
They all have kind of weird names. One of them is the British lady is Maya.
Oh, okay.
But that's not even her real name.
Yeah.
They like all take on new names and stuff.
Greek names.
I feel like their names are on the tip of my tongue, but it's not super important. But it's actually really interesting. So Apollo and the other main character, they have like a very sweet relationship, and it's like they have this. I forget exactly what they call it, a platonic term, but it's like a platonic love.
Okay.
Like it's not a romantic love. They have this, although initially the main characters kind of thinks it's that for Apollo. They think it's like a romantic love, but eventually it's like they're like, no, we're like bonded in this other kind of love. I forget what it's called. I forget what they call it.
Okay.
But it was a really interesting relationship. And then the end of the book is really interesting. I'm not going to say it here, but the end of the book is really interesting, and it actually made me like pretty excited to read on. Up until the ending, I was like, this is neat, but I don't know if I'm going to keep going, but I was like, this is neat. But the ending actually creates a very interesting situation that I'm excited to see.
So like one of the many for you?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I do want to read that. I mean, just because you've been talking about it so much, it is an interesting concept, and I'm interested in reading that.
It's really short, too.
Oh, yeah. Even more of a reason why I want to read it. Awesome. Let's see.
How many do you have left? Do you want me to just finish up, and then you can finish up?
I have a lot.
That's also part of it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The next book I read is Cities of the Plain by Cormac McCarthy. It is the third book of the Borders.
The Borders trilogy?
The Borders trilogy, yeah, because the second one is Crossing. The Borders trilogy. So this one gets the two main POV, main characters that you have in All the Pretty Horses and The Crossings, and they're finally together. This is years after the fact of both of them, where they meet together and they're kind of ranch hands together. And this has one of my favorite characters. And the first one, I really liked the character, and this one kind of solidified it for me. And I enjoyed it a lot. The second one was fine. The second one was good. I enjoyed it. It was good. I like Cormac's writing. The way he's able to just like really, very simply and with very few words, put you in the mind space of these characters and put you in the setting of this, like, I'm not sure, 1952 New Mexico. And that kind of lifestyle and kind of going back and forth between the borders. And it got me emotional at the end too. It was just very solid read. I highly recommend if you want to read Cormac. I know there's issues with him and everything, but All the Pretty Horses are really great, and this one was really great. The Crossing is fine too. You should read that too just to get it through. But this one I really enjoyed, and one of the John Grady Cole is a great character, and I like him a lot. Yeah, that's I gave this one a 5 stars. So I was being very generous. It's more like for something, but like I was really, really generous, and because of the emotional impact at the end, I really liked it. So
awesome.
The next one that I have is A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way. Cha-cha-cha. A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. This is the second nonfiction I read. This is Emma Southern. This is the last book I had to read of Emma Southern. She is so good. She is like, I think she's only done, the 3 that I've read have all been Roman-centric. First one is Agrippina, then A Rome of One's Own, and then this is the last one that she has out. I believe she has other stuff too, but this kind of follows like a bunch of murders and a bunch of like backstabbing that happens in Rome, all the way from the beginning of the end of the Republic to throughout the Empire.
Yeah.
And I love her voice. I love her voice. She's very cheeky. She has a lot of wit. She inserts her inserts don't feel like it's out of place. It feels very in line with the narrative that she's telling. She does a lot of focus on some of the women here. Again, this is mostly like deaths that were committed by men or murders that happened to men. But yeah, I really liked it. I would say this is my second favorite. My first favorite is Agrippina. Agrippina is a good one, and if you want to start off with any nonfiction focused around Rome, read Agrippina. It's about the mother, daughter, sister, wife of different Caesars, and I loved it. And then pick up this one next if you want something that's a little bit more episodic. The next one I have is City of Thieves. This was a book club read, and this is one that you liked, that you said is one of your top books.
Yeah, I had read this before the book club. Yeah, I love this book.
I like this book a lot too. I gave it 5 stars. I really loved the characters. Lev and Kolya were great. The banter between them, the lightheartedness while being in this dark and very depressing setting. There was a lot of shocking bits here. The pacing was amazing. It kept on going, and it didn't feel like you were it was too fast. It was just perfect. And all the characters you kind of meet and the story that happens with it, I was kind of disappointed. I thought this was actually based. I know it's fiction.
I also thought it was. So
I thought it was I know it was fiction. It's a fictionalized story, but I thought it was a fictionalized story of his grandfather.
Yeah.
What he took. But apparently
I think we found out it's not. Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the book is about, it takes place in St. Petersburg during World War II, when it's called Leningrad?
I believe so.
I think it's Leningrad.
Well, they keep on calling it Peter.
Oh, they do? Okay, so maybe it is St. Petersburg already at that point. Or maybe Leningrad is something else.
Well, I think maybe they... I'm not sure. They probably do it after, because it seems Peter seems like it was a colloquial term, like a friendly term that they call it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but yeah, okay. It takes place in St. Petersburg during World War II, at a time when Russia was going through...
Brutal siege of Leningrad.
Oh, okay. Russia was going through a devastating famine.
Yes.
Super hard to find any food anywhere. Rations were super slim. And basically these two characters get in trouble, and a military officer is kind of put in charge of disciplining them. And he basically says, listen, you guys can be off the hook if you can find me a dozen eggs so that I can make a cake for my daughter's wedding that's coming up. And these two, basically kids.
They're late teens.
Lev, I think, is 16. Kolya, I think, is 19.
Yeah, he's older for sure.
Yeah. But these two kids go out into the city on their own during the siege and famine to find a dozen eggs.
Yeah. And I liked it, and all the things that they kind of come across were shocking, and it really kind of put you in you could just imagine how dire situations were back then.
Yeah.
And how resilient the Russians were here. So I really enjoyed it, and again, 5 stars. Thank you for that recommendation. Thank you.
It wasn't me. I think John is the one who picked it for book club. So.
Thank you, John, for that. And then the last one I have for right now is... Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next to the last one. Look at this fat boy right here. Of Empires and Dust by Ryan Cahill. This is the 4th book of the Bound of the Broken series. It is so big. It is so needlessly big.
Is that the last one right now?
It's the last one right now.
Right.
I did not like this one as much as the third one. The third one seems to be the best one so far. But even then, I feel like the third one could be trimmed down. This definitely could be trimmed down. By 100 pages in, 150 pages in, I'm still nothing has happened. And why the fuck are we seeing all these different POVs? Ryan doesn't understand that we don't have to know everything that's going on in every single person's life. And I wish he did more. There's some art here, actually. Look at that art.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's some art in here.
You don't want to show it to the camera?
No, I don't want to show it to you guys. But yeah, it's not a bad story. I don't feel like it's as good as the third book, but I still gave it I think a 3.25. So it was actually really low. It's probably almost as close to the A Blood and Fire rating that I had for it. I'm kind of tired. Everyone here is special, which now reading another book, I'm kind of understanding why he did it like this. But everyone here is special. Everyone has some sort of gift going on. I don't need to know the ins and outs of the bad guys' train of thoughts, or the bad guys their rationale behind it. We already understand what's going on, and it just seems gratuitous for no reason. And I'm already so far in. I'm hoping the next book is not as thick, but yeah, I wish that he would just trim down his shit. Put an editor in there to center him on what's actually important and help drive the story forward.
Okay.
And then the last one I have here is The Unveiling by Quan Berry. This is a book that I picked up at the Miami Book Fair. I saw Quan Berry with Stephen Graham Jones and Paul Tremblay doing a horror symposium. I'm not sure what.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Panel.
There you go. That's the word.
Yeah.
Why did I say symposium? And it's just so many words just for the panel.
You were thinking Plato.
Yeah. I picked this up because of how she talked about it and the premise behind it. It's essentially I think a journalist or a photographer taking a trip to Antarctica. And it's horror themed, obviously. So actually, this takes place on Christmas Eve, and I started it on Christmas Eve. Oh. So it was just right around the same time, and I felt really good about that. It was fine. It was a little less than fine, actually. I give it a 2.75. Ooh. It was okay. There are issues with it. She is not a horror writer. She is mostly a poet. And I liked her writing, but there wasn't really anything that kind of like kept me in it. And there are a lot of like psychological horror elements in here, which is cool. But yeah, there wasn't, this group of people, she's the only black woman there. This group of people go to Antarctica and then they get lost and then it's like things happen, like psychological terrors happen. And yeah, it was okay. I just didn't connect with the themes, and then also there wasn't much going there in terms of like the plot but there was cool things that they did like to make it more like psychological. They have these areas of just black text in here, and like there's switches of POV, like you see there's just black text.
It's like the Epstein files.
Yeah, and like you have random lines or words kind of there, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we can find a couple names on here from the files. But yeah, that's the unveiling. I really appreciate Quan signing it for me. I'm gonna keep it anyway. So, your next one.
Okay, keeping in theme with you reading a Christmas book, I read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is the translation by J.R.R. Tolkien.
I want to read that one. I have it.
This was pretty good. I didn't rate it because it is so kind of far outside my comfort zone that like I was kind of like I'm not really sure how I should rate this. Mm-hmm. I'm not really super familiar with the story. I do know some Arthur stuff, but I took like one class on Arthurian mythology in college.
So you're an expert then.
But also we never read Gawain and the Green Knight. We read just kind of like the main stuff about Arthur.
Le Mort?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was my first time reading this, experiencing the story. I didn't realize that it's like a poem.
I mean, J.R. Tolkien, you wanna... The entire thing's a poem?
Yeah, the entire thing's a poem. So
I like that.
And it's very how do I say this? It's very like what's the word? Alliterative.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. So like there's like established full fare where strange things, strife and sadness, all the like S alliteration and stuff. It was good. I don't really know what else to say. It was pretty far outside my comfort zone. It's old. It's a little fine, kind of. It's just like it feels like there wasn't a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
But it's like a little poem that was important to someone somewhere at some time.
Does it kind of like tell? I mean, does it tell the story of the Green Knight and Gawain, or is it just kind of like, hey, this is like kind of like how Greek stories kind of like tell you like, oh yeah, everything you already know the story and everything.
I will say it tells the story.
Yeah. Is it a narrative, or is it just like, hey, this is what happened?
It's more narrative than something like the Iliad was, but it does still kind of have that vibe, that kind of like distance that those kind of older works do. I
have also the Beowulf translation of by
J.R. Tolkien. There's actually in this book there's actually more in here than just this. Like there's also the Pearl and Sir Orfeo.
Okay, Rufio.
Rufio, yeah. Orfeo. Yeah, but I only read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I didn't read the other.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I didn't pick this one up, but the next one I have here is Stonewielder by Ian C. Esselmont. This is the third book of the novels of the Malazan Empire. This one I liked better than The Return of the Crimson Guard, even though on reflection, I think if I do a reread, I'm going to enjoy Return of the Crimson Guard more. Just because it felt like there was so much in Return of the Crimson Guard that was just stuffed in there. This one's a little bit more, I don't want to say streamlined, because you still have that typical Malazan jumping back and forth between different things and then converging on a single point. But yeah, this is really good. It continues on with the story. You're following Kyle, you're following Siska, or Kiska, you're following all these different people, Greymane, and this takes place away from the other 10 series. on another continent. So you're seeing this new continent that you've never been to, and it was really interesting. I'm still trying to like figure out some of the like, what's this term or who are these people, and then you're learning as you go with these stories, and that's typical with the Malathaam book. I enjoyed it again. I enjoyed this more than the third book. It's still like a 4 or 5. But yeah, I'm excited to go into the next book, and I'm enjoying this, and I'm feeling I'm gonna enjoy this a lot more on rereads, just because I'm gonna feel like, oh, I'm gonna understand what's going on and what's this leading to.
Cool.
And then these books I wasn't planning on reading, but because I had time and I was just like, okay, let me just throw in some stuff in here. I read Silverthorn by Raymond E. Feist. This is the second book or the third book, depending on how the first book is split up. The Restore Saga. This continues on with the story. You don't see Thomas so much, but you have Pug, which is the magician person there. But it follows more the princes and the kings. You have Prince Arutha, and a assassination attempt takes place, and this is more of a quest storyline or adventure than the first one is. This was a little bit more focalized with hints of the bigger bad that's looming on in the background than the first one is. Like the first one, you'll have like the bigger bad kind of like here and there, and they kind of like, but this one tells you like, oh, he's coming.
Okay.
And this, when I first read this is what I read it like as a teenager, like as a 12-year-old or something like that. It was like, I think the second or third series I picked up, or the second series after Lord of the Rings that I picked up. And my uncle had me read this one first because it was shorter and because it was a little bit more focused, and you didn't really need to know. Like, it's nice. It's obviously good to know the character in the first book, but they like who they are doesn't really come into play here. It's more about the adventure and the quest that's going on. And I kind of agree with my uncle's assessment. Like, if you try to introduce fantasy, classical fantasy into like younger people, you want to give them something short, a little bit more focused than the bigger world stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it a lot. 5 stars. It was just good. The characters were a lot better here. The pacing was obviously really good. The adventure, the action was really cool. So I really enjoyed that one. Mm-hmm. And then I read the third book of Discworld, Sorcery by Terry Pratchett. This is the third book of the Rincewind series, sub-series. I'm not sure if I don't think it's the third book that was published. Yeah, no, because there's a bunch here. Yeah, this is the third book of the Rincewind sub-series. This feels like a Discworld book. The first 2 books did not.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first book has chapters in it, and it's just like, but like...
Oh, do other Discworld books not?
I think there's only one other book that has chapters in it.
Okay.
But this one, like, you could see, there's clear, like, stopping points. Like, you see, there's just, like, and double indents. Yeah, this felt more like a Discworld book. I really enjoyed it. The first 2 books were fine. The second one I enjoyed more than the first one. This one just feels like a Discworld book, and you have the themes going on in here, and everything that we have with Rincewind and Luggage and the characters here. It was just cool. It was cool. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the humor. Here, it feels so much better than the first 2 books, and I'm glad to continue on with the series and looking forward. I think the next one's super short. It's like the size of Mapping the Interior, and it's called Eric. So I'm probably gonna toss that in some point.
Cool.
And then I have a bunch of short stories or novellas that I read just because, again, had time and I was gonna be getting there. Let me go with. Actually, no, I did read another story. Son of a Lich by J. Zachary Pike. The second book of the Dark Prophet saga. The first one being Orconomics. This one I didn't like. I think I enjoyed it as much as the first one. The first one was good. This one I just felt like it was a little long. So I enjoyed it more probably, but I think it was just a little long in the tooth, and I just wanted to kind of like get it over with.
Cool.
And yeah, not much there. Continued on the story from the main Gorm and his crew of people, and the big bad that you have in that comes in the first one kind of continues on, and you have this like kind of a Machiavellian like rulers or people kind of try to take over the system or take advantage of the system. It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was 3-something. I had a good time with it. I'm going to probably finish off the series this year, as you saw in probably our 26 for 26 videos. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's anything too crazy. Good, fun, enjoyable. And then the last 3 books that I read were short stories. I'm going to go off of them really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Elder Race by Adrian Tchaikovsky. It's a science fiction short story. It was fine. 3. I didn't really care about it. I didn't really care one way or another about it. I thought it was just good. If you want to get a taste of Adrian Tchaikovsky, it's a good taste of how he writes the science fictions. It was interesting enough, but again, there wasn't anything that kind of like engaging me with it. But the next two, I really liked. I tried reading another one, Buddha in the Attic, that I DNF'd. But I then went into The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar. She is one of the people that wrote Time War.
Yep.
And I love that one. It's fantasy. I don't want to go too much into it, but like there's like these kind of elven people that live off in this like not world, but it's kind of like a place outside of their world that kind of like moves around.
Okay.
And it follows these two sisters and their story and kind of like love. And it was very touching, and I really liked it a lot. I really liked the characters there. I believe they are referred to. No, they are not. But they are, yeah, it was a very touching story. It had like a fantasy, like a fable style to it, and I really enjoyed it. I gave that one 5 stars, and then, did I give it 5 stars? Yes, 5 stars. And then I read, what's the last one I read?
Psalm for a Wild Built.
Oh, yes. Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to like it as much as I did. I immediately bought these 2 books, by the way. They're being shipped to my house today. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. They were super, what's his name? Sibling Dex? And Mosscap.
It's been a while since I've read it.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Sibling Dex and Mosscap. I was enjoying Sibling Ducks, and then when Mosscap got introduced, I loved it even more. And then just had like the messaging behind what they were talking about and what they were going through. It was very good, very touching. I really enjoyed the characters. The world was intriguing enough. Again, I bought the book that has both of them together, the first and the second.
Oh yeah, it's
story.
called like Monk and Robot or something.
Yes, they're part of the Monk and Robot series.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and I really enjoyed it.
Let me know when you read the second one, because I read Psalm a while ago, but I had never read the other one.
I don't know.
A Prayer for the Crown Shy, I want to say, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I just wanted to say there's a part in that book that made me like laugh out loud.
Oh yeah,
because it's So Mosscap the robot goes by the pronoun it.
Yes,
and Dex at one point is like. It's like, I feel weird calling you it. Like, I feel like I'm treating you like just an object. And Mosscap the robot is like, just an object? When I call you your pronouns, that's not me treating you like just an animal.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of weird. Like, I actually asked this in the chat. I think, I'm not sure if it's because I didn't have the physical. I was listening to an audiobook. I was wondering, I think before Dex mentions that they are non-binary, I think it was describing them as she, her, and I thought it was weird.
I don't think. I mean, it's been a while since I read it. I don't think it ever uses the pronouns, but I think it is kind of described that like they're
feminine.
Like assigned female at birth.
Yeah, I was kind of, because then after that, after they say, "Oh, I'm non-binary," or like they prefer not using non-binary pronouns. It was they them the rest of the time.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe I just misheard.
I mean, it also could have been. Like I said, it's been forever since I read it.
Yeah. So, but again, I really enjoyed it. I like those 2 characters a lot. Kind of like the struggles that they go through, and kind of like finding their purpose in life. Mm-hmm. It was very thematic, and I loved the themes.
Yeah, I've read one other Becky Chambers book, and the way I have kind of described her is, or described what she writes, is that she doesn't write cozy fantasy; she writes cozy sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
Because her other book that I've read, The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet, is very much like cozy sci-fi.
I need to add that to me because
it was good.
I really want to read it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. There is one more short story. I read 4 short stories. I talked about it. It's called The Mimicking of Known Success by Malka Older. Apparently, Malka Older is a Cuban. And the reason why I know about this is because our friend Katie, she read this and she recommended 3 of these short stories to me. Mm-hmm. And apparently, this is also a short story. It is called the Mosa and Pietri series or mysteries. Yeah, it's a murder mystery or a crime mystery that you're trying to figure out what's going on, and I liked it. It's short, and the pacing kept on going very well with it, so I enjoyed it because of that. It's not like drawn out with most murder mysteries. And the reason why I know she's Cuban, because Malka Older does not sound like a Cuban name, is because in the second book, apparently, she uses come mierda a lot, and come mierda is it's a Spanish word. It means it's literally shit eater, and but it's used mostly by Cubans as to describe like anyone being a stupid, anyone acting a fool, and like if you fall in love with someone that you're not supposed to, you're come mierda. If you cut someone off in traffic, you're come mierda. And she apparently uses it a lot in the second book, which I'm going to be reading afterwards. But yeah, I'm excited to read it. I enjoyed it. It was good, fun pacing, 4 stars. And yeah, I that's all the books I read right now. I still have a couple comics, but
yeah. I'll go over.
So the last one.
Last thing I read in December was Isles of the Emberdark by Brando Sando.
Brando Sando.
This, I don't want to say too much because I think you're going to read it and then I think we're going to do a full video on it.
Sure, yeah.
I guess we'll see how you feel.
Surprise.
After it. I thought it was fine. It's not his best work, but it's not his worst.
Okay. The worst is Rhythm of War.
You think Rhythm of War is worse than Wind and Truth?
Yeah, because at least Wind and Truth, there are things matter in that one. Like the things that happen there actually matter. Rhythm of War, everything that happens there has no bearings.
That's fair. The actual worst thing he's written is White Sands, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. I haven't read that one yet.
But yeah, this was okay. I want to find the art is actually really good in this one. I think of the Secret Projects, this is like maybe my second favorite of the artwork.
I like how like the pages are black here and half of it is black.
Yeah, there's a reason for it that I won't.
Oh, okay. Good,
I won't
good.
spoil. God damn!
Why
can I not find a? Okay, here's one. Here's one.
Oh yeah, look.
So this is like
very pretty.
But there's also some really cool, just like black and white kind of drawings too. But yeah, pretty decent book. I think this book is fun. It's like a Marvel movie. Oh, okay. Basically, it's fun, but there's not
Marvel derogatory or Marvel
neutral.
Neutral. Okay.
It's fun, but there's not like a whole lot to chew on. Okay. Yeah. Although maybe a little more than like your average fantasy book, maybe.
Yeah, because this is a continuation or expansion of the Six of Dusk
short story. Yeah. So that is also the way he incorporates that short story into the book. I think is fine, but I think could have done better. Basically, in like the first like quarter of the book, it doesn't happen very long. It's basically like flashbacks, almost like Stormlight Archives flashbacks. Okay, like stuff will happen, and then there's a flashback, and those flashbacks are just the old short story.
Oh, okay.
I think that works fine. It's not terrible, but it does create kind of like weird stopping places, both for the short story and for the new narrative. Okay. I think it would have been better if it was just the short story up front and then into the new stuff. And then I think it would also be easier for people who have read it before and they want to skip it. It would be easier for them to skip it that way. But it's not a huge deal. But I do think it would have worked better that way.
So this is like he took this is James Islington kind of like going between.
Yeah, but not as bad. Okay. There's really fun wider Cosmere stuff. Oh, cool. In this book, probably
6 is further along in the Cosmere in the chronology.
I want to say it's the furthest, but I could be wrong about that. I know what the short story was the furthest for a while. Yes. Until the Secret Projects came out. Now I don't really know what the furthest. Sunlit might be, or
even Yumi. I think all 3 of them are further.
They're all pretty far along. Yeah. But I don't know which is the furthest.
Cool.
But yeah, this has some of the most fun Cosmere connections in it, cool. of all the books, of all the Secret Project books. But it's also so very, very slight, very minor spoiler. Okay. There's characters in the book that are from the wider Cosmere. That are
they recognizable?
They're major. No, they're like new to this book, but they're like you'll recognize some of the places they're from.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If you're Cosmere aware.
Yeah. And they are some of the cringiest characters I think Sanderson has ever written.
Jesus.
And I think it's because I'm starting to see a little more of what he was talking about with Wind and Truth. I'll try to make this quick so we're not talking about it for too long. But with Wind and Truth, when people were complaining about the prose, one of his things was that he was saying was with the Cosmere moving further ahead in time, he's trying to make it mimic more of our speech a little bit. That the world is modernizing and like the way they're talking is modernizing, right?
I have a retort for that regarding Wind and Truth, but yes.
Yeah, I don't think it works in Wind and Truth.
Yes.
I think it works a little better here.
Yeah, okay.
Because Dusk, the main character, Dusk, doesn't really talk like that. He does a little bit.
Good.
But a lot of the characters that are from other planets, from more modernized planets, they do talk like that.
Okay.
Which is, it's more excusable, but it's still, it's just, when you'll read it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is, one of the characters is like the cringiest, like, YA character, like, you could possibly put in a book.
Oh my god, I saw Brandon Sanderson was hanging out with V. Schwab a lot.
But yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Not the worst, not the best.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got for it.
All right, well, I'm hoping to read it very soon. I'm finishing up something else that we're going to be talking about in a video coming up right now, but...
I will say, of the secret projects, I think this might be the worst.
Oh, the Cosmere.
I didn't read the wizard one. The
Frugal Wizard.
What is
whatever.
it? No, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah,
no,
Frugal Wizard's Guide to something.
Something. You have it here, huh?
No, I don't have the one. I only have the
Oh, okay, good for you. I still have mine.
But yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So then I think I'm done with all my books.
All right, so now you get to do a comic corner.
I have a comic corner now. I haven't read too many comics in 2025. I only read two other trade paperbacks, and they're all part of the series that I'm going to show off right now. But yeah, I continued off with Saga. This is Saga Volume 12. The other two comics that I read earlier this year were Saga Volume 10 and 11. This is by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Fiona Staples.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I think this was fine. I think what happens at the end of this one is very interesting, and I wonder how it's going to impact the wider story going along. But if you're not aware of what Saga is, you should pick it up anyways. But
yeah, very good.
It's very good. It's essentially Romeo and Juliet mixed with Star Wars. That's kind of it, but then there's wider implications around it. It's a story about family, found family, keeping connections together, and love, honestly. And I really enjoy this series. The characters here are some of the most memorable characters, not in this one particularly, but just Saga in general.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what comes from this, especially again with the ending of this 6th issue. The next one I read was Batman Absolute. This is a gift that you got me. This is by Scott Snyder and then art by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin. I enjoyed this. I had a good time. This is kind of like a different take on Batman. Instead of him being this rich, affluent person, he is a blue-collar construction worker. But he's still super smart and still all this stuff. It's very cool, very grungy. I enjoyed it. It's not as edgelordy as I expected it to be, especially with Scott Snyder. So I spoke to my cousin and let him know, like, I'm reading this and I'm enjoying it enough. And he's like, oh, is it edgelordy? I'm like, no, actually, it's not as edgelordy. It feels a little bit more hopeful than actual edgelordy. But yeah, he wasn't as interested in this because he feels like there just wasn't enough different done with Bruce here.
Really?
Yeah, like if you're gonna be changing up the storyline, like just making him a blue collar worker is not enough to make it interesting.
Well, he's like friends with all of his villains.
Oh yeah.
Which is also a big thing.
Yeah. So I find it interesting. He's also a big Batman fan, and this is like he's also the kind of person like he doesn't like when you make Natalie Portman's character in Thor like
Jane Foster.
Okay, he's not a fan of when Jane Foster becomes Lady Thor.
Oh, he's an idiot.
Well, it's not that. It's just like
I'm joking.
He would rather like these characters are good by themselves and make.
He would rather make a new character.
Yeah, make a new character, make something interesting, not just like hey, you're just like placating to people. And I kind of agree to that. Like I rather you make something fresh and interesting by itself than placate to like a fan base.
No, because I would argue doing something like that is making the character of Thor fresh and interesting.
I don't know. I maybe if it was not an established character, I don't know. I do kind of agree with him. I still think representation matters, obviously, because I like Miles Morales. I like all these different characters. But like when it's just kind of like, hey, it's the same character, but now with whatever pasted on top of it, it feels like it's cheapening it to me, and not just for like the people that they're trying to engage with or represent. It just like it also cheapens the hero itself.
I don't think so. Okay,
yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm kind of like on. I kind of go halfway here and there with it, but yeah, he just defined not as much interesting to kind of engage him. I did. I like this I enjoyed it. You have Bruce being a blue-collar worker, and the villain was really cool and like really kind of like...
Yeah, I just find that an interesting take because I have a lot of the Absolute comics, but I haven't read any of them yet. And from what I hear, Batman is like the most different than all the others. I mean, the other ones are still pretty different.
My cousin's also curmudgeon. Like, he's just like...
The other ones are still pretty different, but from what I hear, Batman is like the biggest shift.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm interested because you got Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah, I have all of them.
Okay.
That are out in trade. Actually, that's not true. I think Absolute Flash just came out in a trade, and I don't have that yet, but I have the rest if you want to borrow them.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll pick it up when I'm ready to continue on. The last one I read is Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross art. This is kind of this is, I think, widely known. I mean,
I don't know about this one.
Anything by Alex Ross, like he does this kind of style art, and it's just beautiful. Like some of these. Did
he do Kingdom Come?
Yes. This is the same guy that does Kingdom Come. Like the art is just really good, and this kind of follows. Oh, look at this! You have the original Human Torch with Submariner, and yeah, you have this follows along a photographer that's around during all these kind of like big calamitous events or just monumentous events. You have Human Torch and Submariner here. You have Captain America getting into World War II and the Fantastic Four coming in, the wedding of the Fantastic Four. You have I think Civil War and Secret War also here. It's very interesting, and you're seeing it from the lens of this photographer and how it's affecting him and his family, and how it affects like all these big things kind of affect the small people and like the reactions from the small people. It's interesting. I don't think it's anything out of this world, but the art is very nice. I like the story enough. It was good. It's only 4 issues, but yeah, enjoyable. I really like Alex Ross. He's obviously just a god amongst us mortals. And yeah, you have like Galactus and Silver Surfer here. Very cool. I enjoyed it, and I think if you have to read like Marvels or Marvel 1602, I think I like Marvel 1602 better, just because there's like a little bit more of a like story going on there. This one was good. It was a fresh take, I believe, but enjoyable. And that's my comic corner. Awesome. So those are all the books that we read in December. Let us know about some of the books that you read. Let us know if you read any of our books that we've currently read, or any of our comics that we've read. Anything you want to say now that it's a new year? Happy New Year and everything to everyone. No, you're good. He doesn't want to talk to any of you. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to be kicking out our January TBR soon. But hope you all stay safe. Had a great holiday. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Later,
everybody.
Peace.